Samina, how has been New Year treating you this till 5 days? Yes, Manish, would like to share something about this New Year
Uh,
resolutions.
yeah, definitely. This is the new year, and it's. I assume it would be the very good. But for the last 3 to 4 years, I had not worked anything. Just I have made some plan, and after this week, I will start implementation of my whole year plan.
Wonderful, wonderful. But the planning is important, the vision is important, and sometimes we may or may not be, accomplishing everything. That is the time when we have to understand why we are doing what we are doing. So the
Definitely.
purpose is very important, Manish. So
Yeah.
that helps you, go with the plan, and that has helped me in the last 2 years when I understand the purpose very carefully, why I'm planning something. Because not many organizations when I work with, they come with a plan. It becomes more like an operational plan. But whenever something happens, some uncertainty happens, they shift that plan. So planning and visioning is two different.
Definitely.
Yes.
100%.
So yeah, Shabana, can I continue? Oh yes, thank you. Great. So I can just start. Can you all see my screen, guys? Lovely. So today we're going to talk about something very powerful, and this has been my practice also. And I've seen some tremendous results in the last many years when I have dealt with the world called fear. And there are two driving forces. There are a lot of conflict that we have been, into. There are a lot of debate about fear and love, what drives us, and we have all logics around this particular conversation. That yes, we should be operating from fear or we should be operating from love. So today, let's explore and uncover. And I try to do it in next 30 minutes. And it will be very good if you also can participate simultaneously, Samina and Manish and Shavana. So the topic today that I'm going to talk about is what's driving you? Is it the fear or is it love? So any thoughts about it? I mean, आपकी जिंदगी में क्या लगता है कि क्या ड्राइव कर रहा है आजकल मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम? क्या डर ड्राइव कर रहा है या या लव ड्राइव कर रहा है या डर ड्राइव कर रहा है कि जैसे हम न्यू ईयर रेजोल्यूशंस लेते हैं तो हमें क्या लगता है कि अगर हम नहीं कर पाएंगे वो ड्राइव करता है या लव दैट यस व्हेन आई बिकम दिस आई विल बी दिस क्या ड्राइव करता है बी ऑनेस्ट अबाउट इट राइट नाउ व्हाट्स ड्राइविंग यू मोर एंड मोर Samina, Shabana, what drives us more occasionally and most of the times, and be honest about it. मेरे को तो ड्राइव पहले डर करता था अभी भी डर कुछ ना कुछ लगता है तो but this is there is a conversation that is on in our head
Yeah.
like डर सभी को
Ac-
लगता है
Yeah, Vinay ji. Actually, what's happened ki whatever we have vision or whatever we want to do, so it
yes
start with love. But after taking one and two step, it's come कि अगर ये ऐसा नहीं हुआ या
yes
अगर यहाँ पर रुक गया तो क्या होगा तो फिर वहां से फिर कहीं ना कहीं बैक हो जाता है या फिर यू कैन से कि वी हैव टू टेक द प्रिकॉशन या प्रिवेंटिव
yes
एक्शन
yes
स्टार्ट हो जाता है तो
yes
दैट आई कैन से कि फॉर एटलीस्ट फॉर मी इट स्टार्ट विथ लव बट थोड़ा सा आगे चलने के बाद इट्स कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ लव एंड फियर क्योंकि फियर भी
yes
आता ही आता है मैम सर
yes thank you so much and thank you for being so honest about it Manish और ये हमारी जिंदगी में है और ये एक चीज बात बताई भी जाती है कि ये डर सभी को लगता है लेकिन एक बात और बता रहा हूं मैं आपको आपसे सभी से पूछता हूं डर सभी को लगता है पर डर के आगे क्या है डर के आगे क्या है
डर के आगे जीत है
नहीं डर के आगे जीत नहीं है डर के आगे दर्द है
ओके
पहले दर्द होता है फर्स्ट देर इज अ पेन एंड देन देर इज अ विन until you go through that pain you cannot go I mean that's the kind of conversation I'm going to talk about in the next 30 minutes so so now there is a debate which is going on love versus fear debate it's complex both are two powerful emotions love भी एक powerful emotion है fear भी एक powerful emotion है हम किसी को इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते और हमारी जिंदगी को शेप करता है व्हेन वी आर स्मॉल किड्स व्हेन वी आर स्मॉल स्टूडेंट हम छोटे होते थे तो हमारे को डर दिखाया जाता था कि अगर हम फेल हो जाएंगे अगर हमारे को कंपार्टमेंट आ जाएगा तो हमारे को किसी और सेक्शन में बिठा दिया जाएगा, तो इसीलिए मेहनत करते थे किसी। और कई लोगों को ये डर लगता था कि बच्चों को कि अगर मैं फर्स्ट नहीं आऊंगा तो फिर मेरी बेइज्जती होगी या मेरी बेइज्जती होगी, एंड देन दे स्टार्ट स्टडिंग हार्डर एंड हार्डर, एंड दे यूज्ड टू ऑलवेज कम फर्स्ट इन द क्लास। ओके, सो फियर वाज आल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट। बच्चे जब छोटे होते हैं तो उनको डर दिया जाता है कि कहीं आग से वो खेलते थे तो को आग उनको कोई परेशानी ना कर दे, वो कहीं इसमें स्विच में अपना हाथ ना डाल दें। तो डर दिया जाता था, डर बताया जाता था और डर होता था। लेकिन बच्चों को जब चिल्ड्रन वर बॉर्न, दे वर नॉट बॉर्न विद फियर, बट देयर सम फियर वाज एडेड इन एट द बिगनिंग, राइट? बट लव इज ऑल्सो पॉजिटिव इमोशन। दूसरा, लव एक अच्छा ऐसा इमोशन है कि जिसमें वार्मथ है, कंपैशन है, and there is a connectedness. I mean, when we are loving people, there is a connectedness. While fear is a negative emotion that is associated with anxiety, insecurity, and disconnection. तो ये हमें दोनों को अंडरस्टैंड करना। नॉट एनी इमोशन इज राइट और रॉन्ग। हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि अगर हमें डर लग रहा है तो इसका मतलब हम कहीं गलत है, और अगर हमारे को लव है तो ही हम सही हैं। So I'm not asking you to distinguish and making one thing as right thing and second thing as a wrong thing. All I'm trying to want to make it in the next 30 minutes, only 5 minutes, is making you see the two aspects so that you can make an effective choice. What do you want to choose? You can choose to be in fear, but you can also choose to be with the package of fear, which is association with anxiety, insecurity, and disconnection, which is okay. Sometimes when we are anxious, you perform more. Sometimes we are stressed up, you perform more. So that's okay. But at the same time, what is more compelling for you? But that's the debate which is going on and on and on and on and on. I mean, when you say a lot of conversations, there are पुराने लोगों की जो पुरानी छुपाइयां भी रामायण की आती थी वो भी हम आपको बताऊंगा इस नेक्स्ट समय पे कि डर कैसे हमें डर इंस्पायर करता रहा है और आज प्यार हम क्या कर सकते हैं। But let's understand the fear, emotion of fear in more detail. What exactly is, where it actually got started. As I shared, when we are small, everybody had instilled fear from around us कि कहीं हमें चोट ना लग जाए, हमें परेशानी ना हो जाए, हमें कहीं तकलीफ ना हो जाए. But धीरे धीरे as we grew up, we actually started growing up with that particular fear. And we hardly realized that fear is stopping us even today, that even if it is a small fear. I mean, people have fear of speaking in front of public. People have fear of even talking to people. I mean, they have some fear because लेकिन बचपन में क्या बताया जाता है कि आपको सबसे बात नहीं करना है, आपको अच्छा बच्चा बनना है, आपको समझदार बच्चा बनना है. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I mean, that's, और वो fear आपको रूल करता रहा कि आपको ऐसे ही काम करना है. So that's how the game of fear started in the beginning. But as we progressed, we saw certain beliefs also became the part of us. We believe that this is the way things have to be. ये बताया जाता था जैसे बचपन में कि बच्चों को जब थप्पड़ मारते हैं तो बच्चा सीख जाता है, बच्चों को थप्पड़ मारेंगे तो वो बच्चा मान जाता था. तो ये बिलीफ कहीं ना कहीं हो चुका था कि जब भी किसी को कुछ सिखाना है तो थप्पड़ मार के ही सिखाना है. बट इज इट कमिंग फ्रॉम फियर? और अगर बच्चा सीख भी जाता था, बच्चा पढ़ भी लेता था, बच्चा पावरफुल हो भी जाता, पर वो क्या वो डर उसकी जिंदगी में नहीं था, नहीं रहेगा जिंदगी भर, तो वो कभी भी किसी के सामने स्टैंड नहीं लेगा, कभी करेजियस नहीं होगा, कभी किसी से बात नहीं करेगा. क्योंकि वो डर क्या था? थप्पड़ नहीं लगना चाहिए मुझे, मुझे थप्पड़ से डर लगता है. ठीक है, तो अब लेकिन अब डायलॉग्स ये भी आ गए, थप्पड़ से नहीं साहब, मुझे तो प्यार से डर लगता है. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट थिंग आल्सो. बट एज वी ग्रो ओल्डर, we develop psychological fears which can detect and tame us. So when we are saying that हमारा potential express नहीं हो रहा है, it is all because something in in the childhood we had developed that fear. बट क्या आपको फियर को इग्नोर करना है? आज जो आपके पास डर है, जितने भी डर हैं आपको, डू आई रियली मीन दैट यू हैव टू इग्नोर दैट फियर? डू आई रियली मीन दैट यू हैव टू पुट योर फियर अंडर द कारपेट? would I do I really mean that this fear is not real? So now a lot of speakers are going to say fear is not real, but fear is real. डर है, डर होता है, but डर को इग्नोर नहीं करना है, डर के साथ करना क्या है वो हमें देखना है। डर को हमने पावर देनी है, या डर को इग्नोर करना है, या डर को गिव अप करना है। So you, we will talk about it in a moment from now. That's a choice that you have to make. Okay. So let's talk more. I mean, how is this psychology of brain, how our psychology of the fear, handles, हम कैसे हैंडल करते हैं अपने फियर को, और हमारा ब्रेन कैसे हैंडल करता है। हम जैसे प्रोग्रेशन में चल रहे हैं, जैसे भी हम एक अनसर्टेन सिचुएशन पे आते हैं, whenever you go to an uncertain situation, maybe when we are learning something new, maybe when you are in the stock market, or maybe when you are dealing with a stranger maybe when we are entering into a relationship, maybe we are having a conflict in a relationship, there is always a kind of curiosity. That it starts with curiosity but ends with stress. So there are few stress responses that whenever we are stressed out, we either fight with the situation or we get away from the situation. So हमें या तो भागना होता है या हम भाग जाते हैं। हम भाग लेते हैं या भाग जाते हैं। अब नहीं, भाग लेने की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, या हमें भाग लेना चाहिए या भाग भाग जाना चाहिए, या हमें सोचना है। पर एक्चुअली हम लोग दोनों चीजों में नहीं करते। हम हमेशा भागते हैं। Whenever we are fighting, we are still avoiding the confrontation. Or whenever we're taking a flight, we are still avoiding the confrontation. We are always and always resisting the encounter. Now, imagine a situation where a certain piece of information is to be provided to someone जिसको आप पसंद करते हो और उसको लाइक करते हो अपने रिलेशनशिप में। आप कोई इंफॉर्मेशन बताना चाहते हो, कोई बात बताना चाहते हो जो कि डरा सकता है, पर आप क्योंकि यू आर सो फियरफुल that this can actually make the other person more fearful, you don't actually disclose the information. But आपको पता भी है कि वो गलत कर रहा है या गलत कर सकता है या कर सकती है, your loved ones can go wrong or right, but because of the fear of confrontation you don't actually talk to that person. But फिर भी, because you still have to do it, you still have to say to people that this, you are wrong here and this needs to be corrected, you start confronting. But what happens to the other person? The moment you start confronting and give logics to that person, the person will always, fight with it. Oh, no, 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 I am right about myself. I cannot be wrong in this area. Or the person will avoid it. Or the person will go away. There's a certain belief system that we carry all of our lives. किसी का belief होता है कि जिंदगी ऐसे चलती है, किसी और का belief होता है कि जिंदगी तो किसी और तरीके से चलती है. A lot of people will say that there is always a fear that needs to be instilled so that you can accomplish your goals. But somebody has believed that I need to be free. There has to be freedom all around. Until that there is the freedom, I cannot express myself. There is again people's beliefs and values are there. तो हमारा जब कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होता है दोनों के, फ्रीडम और फियर के बीच में भी जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होता है, then there is a encounter, and that is where stress comes up. And stress is what? Stress brings it fight or flight hormone. तो फाइट और फ्लाइट करता है, स्ट्रेस एक हार्मोन प्रोड्यूस करता है जिससे फाइट और फ्लाइट होती है, और उसकी वजह से हमारा ब्रेन का एक पार्ट होता है, उसको हम एमिगडाला बोलते हैं, वो हाईजैक हो जाता है। और वो जैसे हाईजैक होता है, वी आर नॉट एबल टू गिव करेक्ट रिस्पॉन्सेस, वी आर नॉट एबल टू बिकम रैशनल। सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड फियर क्या करता है। जब भी फियर आता है, और अगेन फियर इज अ परसीव्ड नोशन। फियर जरूरी नहीं होता कि फियर सच होता है, पर फियर जब आ रहा है, वी हैव टू आल्सो एक्सेप्ट दैट फियर इज कमिंग अप फॉर यू। नाउ हाउ टू डील विद द फियर? How to deal with the fear is not by avoiding it, is not by being in this fight or flight situation. When you have to deal with the fear, you have to be present and check out what is the reality. Imagine when you are entering into a room and you have a fear that there is a snake inside the room, and you're basically doing all the stuff in the lot of fear which is going in your head, that there is a snake inside the room and I cannot enter the room. And you suddenly had that fear, and that fear is bringing all the psychological changes in your body. But suddenly somebody who just bangs the room or open the door and switch on the lights, and they say there's not snake there, it's not a snake there, it's basically a long stick there. So the moment we person start looking at fear as something which is real, or that's real for them, the body actually responds and reacts. But the moment you say that this is what the reality is, things go away. So it's all about checking the reality and questioning the fear rather than avoiding it or rather than suppressing it under the carpet. जिस बात का हमें डर लगता है तो उसको सवाल पूछना बड़ा जरूरी है. अगर आपको डर लगता है कि हाँ मुझे डर लगता है कि पानी से डर लगता है कि मैं कहीं डूब ना जाऊं, तो इस चक्कर में हम स्विमिंग नहीं करते हैं, इसलिए हम स्विमिंग नहीं करते हैं. तो अगर हम ये सवाल पूछना शुरू कर दें कि हाँ स्विमिंग कैसे की जा सकती है, स्विम पानी में तैरा कैसे जा सकता है, या कोचिंग कैसे लेके जा सकती है, या कोचिंग से, तो अब हम सवाल पूछ रहे हैं. तो जैसे ही कोचिंग मिलती है, जब हमें पानी के बारे में पता चलता है कि यस बॉडी हमारी ऑटोमेटिक फ्लोट करती है, दैट इज द रियलिटी. डर क्या लगता है कि हम डूब जाएंगे. हम डूबते कब है, जब पानी मुंह में चला जाता है और हम चले जाते हैं. लेकिन अगर पानी मुंह में नहीं जाता है, हमारी बॉडी ऑटोमेटिकली फ्लोट करती है. दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग सीप्स इन आवर माइंड, द फियर गोज अवे. Similarly, for all other things, even when you are the people who are new to the stock market, they say, okay, stock market is complete gambling. You always lose money there in the market. You cannot do anything. There's a lot of fear. I cannot, it is not my cup of tea. I will not enter the stock market at all. A lot of people comes with that fear. But if you start questioning the fear, if you're asking that, let's understand what exactly stock market is all about. It is just the interplay of demand and supply. One person is buying and one person is selling in the whole market. If you understand the interplay of demand and supply, you can actually strategize and do your risk management and can get the best benefit out of the stock market. But you have to question it whether this fear is for real. सभी सभी किसी को ब्लड से डर लगता है, किसी को, अब आपको कई बार हम लोग फेस नहीं करते हैं कि भाई वो एक्चुअली क्या चीज है. किसी को हाइट से डर लगता है, तो आप क्या फेस कर सकते हैं. हाँ, अच्छा ठीक है, आप हाइट से डरते हैं, आप हाइट पे खड़े होते हैं, देखते हैं क्या इमोशन आ रहे हैं, क्या फीलिंग्स आ रही हैं, क्या हो रहा है. आप अभी हाइट पे खड़े हो, आप कहीं नीचे नहीं गिर रहे हो. और अगर बाई चांस अगर स्लिप होकर नीचे गिर भी जाते हो तो यार एंजॉय करो. गिरने को जाओ, क्या पता नीचे कोई आपको पकड़ने वाला बैठा हो. हाउ कैन यू जस्ट इमेजिन दैट कि ऐसा ही होने वाला है. So when you have to deal with the fear, the first thing that comes up, you have to question it instead of just going with that fear. But I'm still not a purporter of big fear, but I'm just telling you, whenever fear comes up, you have to deal with that fear rather than avoiding it, right? Because when you don't deal with the fear, our brain takes over and there is an amygdala hijack and you cannot make rational decisions, and you tend to get into that belief that क्योंकि ऐसा हुआ था पहले इसीलिए आगे भी ऐसा होगा, तो बिलीफ फिर हमारी जिंदगी को रूल करता है. Let's go to the next topic. Let's go the conflicting collapse of love and fear. बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि जो लव और फियर है वो दोनों जो है एक जैसे हैं, मतलब उसके बिना, फियर के बिना लव नहीं हो सकता है. So, there was a conversation which is going on, and I was in a big debate with someone in my family or someone who's talking about. And the person who was coming from a Ramayan Chupai and says, "Bhai bin ho na preet." एक एक बात आया था, उसमें बोला था कि भाई, और एंड दैट वाज अ प्रसंग इन रामायण when Lord Rama wants to, in the ancient mythology, Lord Rama wants to, cross the river, and he was asking the way from river, and river did not go the provided in the way. That's how, when Lord Rama just went up and took up his bow and arrow, and उन्होंने डराया था, तो लोगों को लगा था कि उसका मतलब ये है कि प्यार उसी से कर सकते हैं जब डर होता है तो. बट एक्चुअली क्या ये ट्रूथ है. वी बेसिकली, बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे को बड़े सारे स्क्रिप्चर्स में बताई गई है. तो क्या इस स्क्रिप्चर में ये जो बात बताई है, क्या हमने क्वेश्चन किया. जैसे मैंने बताया, फियर को क्वेश्चन करना चाहिए, पर क्या इस कोड को भी हमने कभी क्वेश्चन किया है कि फियर एंड लव आर टुगेदर. नो, फियर कैन नॉट बी टुगेदर विद लव. लव इज अ डिफरेंट इमोशन. Fear is a different emotion. They cannot go side by side, and it's a collapsing conversation that we have. You know, do we have to bring fear for love? अगर हम, मान लीजिए हम ये बोलते हैं बच्चों को, बच्चे से प्यार करते हैं, when you love our children, do we have to bring fear so that we love more? ठीक है, शुरू में बच्चों को ये समझ नहीं होती है, when they are kids, they don't understand the logics, they don't understand the basic part, what is right and wrong. तहाँ पे हमको डर देना जरूरी होता है. पर as the child crosses 14, 15 and 16 years of age, or the person has the rational ability, So do we have to instill more fear? And that's what exactly, people are doing it. I mean, हमें हम लोग बहुत जगह पे कई ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस बहुत कम्युनिटीज ऐसा डरा करके कुछ चीजें बताती हैं कि हमें अगर अगर ऐसा नहीं करेंगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, हमें नर्क मिलेगा, हमें स्वर्ग मिलेगा, सो एंड सो फॉर्थ। तो सिमिलरली हमें कई वैल्यूज में रहने के लिए डर दिखाया जाता है कि अगर ऐसा होगा तो आपके कर्मास ऐसे हो जाएंगे, तो आपके कर्मास में ऐसा हो जाएगा। तो वो डर जरूरी होता है, बट उसके लिए डर जरूरी होता है जहां पे when we are not rational enough, when we are small kid. But when we grow, when we understand what is right and what is wrong, do we really think that love is not more important, or probably fear is more important? Do we have to instill more fear? And when we say that fear is more important, we take help from ancient scriptures and use it in our benefit. But now we are matured. What do we want to choose towards the end of our conversation or towards the end of anything? Now, point I'm trying to make is क्योंकि fear बचपन से है, हमारे visceral experience है, हमारे body के हर part में है. It lives in the body, right? It lives in the body, and it is, and we all do everything not to feel it, and that's the kind of paradox. हम सब कुछ करते हैं इसको दबाने के लिए। वो डर हमारे बॉडी में एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है, शुरू से कर रहा है, हम हमेशा से उसको दबा रहे हैं। पर करना क्या है? व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू बी कॉन्शियसली अवेयर एंड स्टार्ट क्वेश्चनिंग दैट फियर व्हिच इज ऑलरेडी देयर विद इन अस। वी डोंट हैव टू ब्रिंग फियर फ्रॉम आउटसाइड so that people start loving each other. Not many people, bring a fear of discipline in this house. कि भाई साथ में बैठ के खाना खाना है तभी हम प्यार से बात कर पाएंगे, और फियर बता देते हैं अगर ऐसे नहीं करोगे तो ये पनिशमेंट है, ऐसा नहीं करोगे तो ऐसा। ऑफ कोर्स वो चीजें हैं, और ऐसा नहीं करोगे तो हमारी रिश्ते खराब हो जाएंगे, ऐसा नहीं करोगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा। तो हम आप बाहर हम कहीं घूमने जाएंगे तो ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा करेंगे तो ऐसी है। तो लॉट ऑफ फियर वी ब्रिंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, और हम लॉजिक क्या देते हैं कि लव है इसलिए फियर होना चाहिए। और जब लव नहीं है, जब फियर नहीं है, then I cannot be love. But how can it be possible? We are already fearful. All that we need, on the contrary, in the paradoxical situation is, all that we need, we have to consciously deal with that fear, which is already there. Now, have a heart on your hand and अपने दिल से पूछो और ध्यान से पूछो, be patient for a while and just ask yourself very clearly कि आपके पास पहले कितने डर हैं, आपको क्या और डर चाहिए एक प्यार भरी जिंदगी को जीने के लिए? जस्ट गिव मी अ शो ऑफ हैंड्स। डू यू रियली नीड फियर? डू यू रियली नीड फियर, मोर फियर? डोंट यू थिंक यू ऑलरेडी हैव लॉट ऑफ stocks of fear already? Do you really need more fear from outside to make a right choice of love? Can you please give me a show of hands? Put in the chat box. Do you really need more fear? No, we don't need. Then why we have to say? Why have to say कि प्यार करने के लिए पहले डर देना जरूरी होता है? Now, a lot of people will not agree. A lot of people will agree. But today, that's the reason why I wanted this session to be. I mean, a lot of people have, a lot of things in their home, at their home, and they instill a lot of fear at their home so that they can give a particular attention so that the love can happen to them. पर मेरा recommendation क्या है कि fear इतने ज्यादा है, और आपको लव से उस fear को overcome करना है। तो love becomes the first priority. Now, what happens? अगर हमें डर को जिताना है तो लव की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर डर को जीतना है, डर से सब कुछ करना है, what happens when we are more fearful, the perception of fear and everything, how it impacts our body and physiology. तो अगर डर को जिताना है तो लव को लाने की जरूरत नहीं है। बट अगर आपको लगता है कि we have to really really deal with that fear, then understand very carefully that love and fear cannot simultaneously exist. And that's what you got to do. I mean, if you add love into your life in any zone in your life, that fear will automatically go. Automatically. Now you have to find out where the love is. I mean, I'm not saying love ऐसे ही आ जाता है। Whenever you just imagine कुछ भी काम कर रहे हो, कोई भी बिजनेस कर रहे हो, अगर आपने उस बिजनेस में लव ढूंढ लिया, मनीष, समीना, वसंत सर, अगर आपने उस काम में लव ढूंढ लिया, यू विल फाइंड आउट दैट देर इज नो फियर. वो फियर एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करेगा. If you have purposefully decided that, in your relationship love is the first preference, you will automatically see the fear will go. You don't have to, think about it कि fear क्या है. हाँ, fear होता है, लेकिन fear का एक ही remedy है, that the only one remedy is fear is that you add love to it. Now that love is not automatically happening. You have to purposefully and consciously choose love. Like what is the emotion that you want to choose, and the emotion of love and fear both exist in us. Now what we have to activate, are we going to activate fear more and more, or we have to activate love? Now the moment we activate love, fear disappears automatically. Try it out in your work, in your relationship, in your finances, in learning any new thing in life, any uncertainty that you are dealing with. Add love to it. Add more love to that. Add more purpose to it. Now, the other way to deal with the fear is, if at the very first level is, acknowledge the fear and let it go. You have the fear in your mind that, I may not be, faring well in my exams. Okay, fine, that's good. Good to have that conversation. Okay, I'm letting it go now. So I'm not be able to become successful in life. Okay, that fear has come. Okay, let it go. I will not be able to talk well in front of the audience. Okay, that fear is there. Good. Allow it, let it go. आएगा चले जाने दो. But you don't have to press it. You cannot say it. Oh, I'm not fearful. I'm not fearful. I can do everything. No, fear is real for you at that point in time. But all you got to do is you have to question that fear, allow it, acknowledge it, and let go. Is this fear for real? Is this is this really going to happen? Yes, 99% of the things that you fear would not happen. And 1% would happen because you have that fear in your mind. But the paradoxical statement is, you still that fear emotion is there. You cannot just underrate that emotion. Emotion is there. And the only way to let go the emotion is to allow it to come rather than suppressing it to come. The other part is, that is one way to do it. Other part is, if you cannot, if you cannot acknowledge that fear, add love to that conversation, add love to the work that you do, add more gratitude to the work that you do. There is enough research, when gratitude comes up, love also automatically starts happening to your life. There's so much to be thankful for, that you have so much of things that you're having in your life. You can be thankful to a lot of things. So now the debate is still in front of you, that whether you want to choose love or whether you want to choose fear. Each moment is a choice between love or fear. Right now, there are thousands of things running on your head, and all the things that you're running on your head, either that's coming from fear, either is coming from love. Now, what is that choice that you have to make? Nothing is wrong. You can choose to be in the fear and still do things, and allow your potential to be suppressed, and allow your brain to get hijacked, and you operate from that fear and stress. That's okay. It's your choice, it's your life. Or you can add more love to it, and maybe you can go slowly in life. But when you add more love to it and then bring more focus and bring more clarity to your life and thoughts, that's your choice that you have to make it, right? But then that's what I'm trying to talk about. It's a conscious choice. Now, what at every situation, whenever you are scared of any uncertainty, whatever you're scared of, just list down all the things that you get scared of. Just list down all the things in your relationship that you get scared of. Everything. I mean, you already have lots and lots of fear already in your relationship, in your finances, in your career, on in your health wise. I mean, whether I'm going to be healthy all my life. You have made resolutions, as Manish also said, we made resolutions, healthy resolutions. But as in then the progress, the fear comes up. So list down all that fear instead of avoiding and putting it in the cup. List down all the fear, and then make a conscious choice. I mean, let's say आपका अगर डर लगता है कि यार पता नहीं मैं मॉर्निंग वॉक पे जाऊंगा या नहीं जाऊंगा, तो कैन यू ऐड फियर, कैन यू ऐड लव, सॉरी, कैन यू ऐड लव, that why you got to go to the morning walk? What is that you can bring in the morning walk or the exercises in the morning, right? When you go, when you do the morning chores, you fear whether I'm going to be successful in morning chores, and towards the end of the day, whether I'm going to complete the task or not. Are you adding love? Can you add love to that? Can you make a conscious choice to that? And listen to your heart. Your heart is the best thing. Your heart is always the best place to take decisions for. I mean, आपका दिल आपको बताएगा, your feelings going to tell you that where are you operating from. If the feeling is a very low feeling, that means there is something which is fear that is cropped up in your mind. So what is that you want to choose? Always listen to your heart. And again, I always have said one thing which probably sometimes people get into conflicting mode. Integrity is hearing about what your conscience says. आपका ज़मीर क्या कहता है? That is integrity. Integrity is not honesty. Integrity is not truthfulness. Integrity is about आपका ज़मीर क्या कहता है. Listen to your conscience. What your conscience says every moment and every day. If your conscience says what you're doing is right, go ahead. Don't worry about whether it's truthful or honesty. I mean, again, it's a big debate. A lot of people will say morality is not integrity. Yes. So now you can choose to be moral and face the consequences, and we can choose to be not moral. I'm not saying morality is a immoral is a good thing to do, because that creates more confusion in life. But be clear in your conscience that what you want to choose and what is right at that particular point in time. तो किसी का अगर भला होता है, किसी से अगर किसी से कुछ चीज ठीक होती है, and your conscience say that you have to lie that point in time, go ahead. I mean, people will, tell me that आप ये क्या सलाह दे रहे हो, लेकिन always and always, because when you listen to your conscience, this is where you're choosing love over fear. Because lot many times you have to speak truth. I mean, this is again a paradoxical statement. You have to speak truth and become honest, because there is a fear underlying. Fear, whether the fear of things not happening the way you would like the thing to happen. But are you going to choose love over fear or what? Now, the fourth and most important point that I'm going to try to make it, if you cannot understand the conscious choice or listen to the heart, or you cannot listen to the conscience as well, हर सिचुएशन में एक सवाल पूछना हमेशा से. Every time ask one thing in your from every situation is, what is the purpose? Why am I doing what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Any work, any situation when it comes up, any difficulty that is being thrown at you, and you have to act on that situation, ask yourself why. Why I have to respond? Why I have to react? Let's say there is a conflict happening and there is a heated argument happening. Before getting into that argument and before getting into that situation, ask yourself why, and then get into the argument. Why? What is the purpose of this argument? And when you do that why part, when you do that purpose part, you add love to the conversation. Now, towards the end, I just want to say one thing, and one thing is for sure, that no emotion is a bad emotion. I mean, if you are inspired and driven by fear, it's okay to some extent. I'm not saying this is bad or good. So now you choose where you have to operate from. I'll give this to you. You choose what you operate from. If you want to operate from love or you want to operate from fear. And when you say that fear is a negative emotion, you know that fear is negative emotion, but it still drives you. And if it still drives you and you have to understand, is it going to drive you forever? Or love, choosing love is forever? And then I just wanted to end this conversation with this note. And thank you for listening. Thank you for listening all the way. I'm going ahead with people. If you have some questions, you can ask something. I'm happy to answer that. If you have anything that you want to share, if you have anything that you want to talk, please go
Uh,
ahead.
yeah, Vinayji, I have one question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Might be possible. I was not here for the 5 to 10 minutes. Might be possible you have answered my question, but let me ask. Yeah.
Yes, so please go ahead, Manish.
Yeah.
Feel
So
free.
whenever we start with the love for any vision, for any action, okay, and after taking a one and two step, suppose that I'm getting the some fear, then how I have to handle my fear? Okay, how I have to avoid that fear, or you can say come up with this fear, so I can achieve. Otherwise, if
Yes.
I give up, तब तो उससे कुछ
Yes.
mission will be unsuccessful. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So what your question is, let's say when you are, starting up with your business journey and you're starting a business and you come with a lot of excitement. Yeah, yeah, this business is going to make me, go to the customers, reach out to the customers. I'll earn a lot of money, and I'll add more value to the whole world. And you become with very exciting with the idea. But after some time, when that goal is not getting accomplished, let's after 4 months, 5 months, your cash flow is getting disrupted. पैसा नहीं आ रहा आपके पास, आपके खर्चे नहीं चल रहे हैं, तब आपको डर लगना शुरू हो जाता है कि भाई अब क्या करूंगा, मैं घर कैसे चलाऊंगा. ठीक है, वो डर आता है. अब द फर्स्ट थिंग मनीष दैट गॉट टू डू इज फर्स्ट एक्नॉलेज दैट फियर इज फॉर रियल. ये बिल्कुल सच है कि मैं घर कैसे चलाऊंगा, अगर मेरा बिजनेस नहीं चलेगा तो घर कैसे चलाऊंगा. अब सवाल क्या है, अगला सवाल क्या आता है कि एडिंग लव टू दैट कॉन्वर्सेशन. तो आपने वापस से उसको रिविजिट करना है. व्हाई डिड यू स्टार्ट दैट बिजनेस, व्हाट वाज द रीजन दैट यू स्टार्टेड दैट बिजनेस. एंड व्हेन यू गो ऑन टू दैट व्हाई एंड गो टू द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट, you will find out more avenues, you will find out more ideas. Okay, I have started that business for this reason, but slowly and slowly I have wanted to so deep in the operations that I forgot the main purpose of the business. और कहीं ना कहीं मैं ट्रांजैक्शनल अप्रोच में आ गया और इस वजह से मेरा बिजनेस भी सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो रहा है और मैं इतनी एंग्जाइटी में आ गया, मेरे को डर ही रूल कर रहा है. पर्पस जब क्लियर हो जाता है, देन स्टार्ट बिकमिंग वेरी क्रिएटिव. एंड देयर इज अ रिसर्च व्हिच सेज व्हेन यू ब्रिंग लव to the game, you become very creative, you become very rational in your approach, and you have a lot of ideas to ensure that the problem that you're facing, you will be overcoming it. आपका ब्रेन सपोर्ट करता है, आपकी बॉडी में से एंडोर्फिन्स रिलीज होते हैं, आपकी बॉडी में से ऐसे अच्छे हार्मोन्स रिलीज होते हैं कि आप ऐसी चीजें करने लगते हो जो कभी भी नहीं किया आपने. So that's a research. But how to get to that point is to redefine and revisit the purpose. And the moment you redefine the purpose and revisit the purpose, love comes up automatically. I hope I've answered your question. Great. Thank you so much. So similarly, you can do the same thing in your health also. Let's say when you're starting your health journey and you started going to gym and after 7 days or 10 days or 15 days, you feel very bored. कि अब मैं क्या करूं, एक्सरसाइज का रूटीन खत्म, अब घर बैठे हो, रजाई में बैठे हो ठंड में, और आप वही सुबह सुबह रेवड़ी खा रहे हो और वो सब कुछ कर रहे हो. नाउ दैट थिंग व्हिच व्हाई यू स्टॉप इट, बिकॉज द फियर, अरे क्या होने वाला है यार, 10 दिन, एक दिन नहीं गया तो क्या हो जाएगा, और मैं इतने दिनों से जाके मैंने कर क्या रहा हूँ, मेरे को तो दर्द हो रहा है. The fear comes in, maybe I'm not going to accomplish my goal, and then suddenly one thing was leading to another. But when you bring that purpose again, why did I started going to gym? What is the purpose of it? If I go become fit, what is the impact that I'm going to create? So when you bring that purpose with you, you just automatically bring back that routine. You add love to the whole game, and then you become more creative in your approach. Okay, fine, maybe not 7 days. I can start with 3 days and I slowly increase to 4 days or 5 days of activity. So you can more creative in your approach. Great, and thank you for asking this question, Manish. That opens up a lot of doors to answer a lot of other questions. Anybody else
I,
has
I
any
would
other?
like to ask one question. As you said
Yes,
about gym,
yes.
sometimes
Who's
your
this?
health is.
Who's this? Who
I'm
is this?
Ruchira. Ruchira.
Ruchira. Yeah, please go ahead. Glad to meet you, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you. So, many times, what happens that you're not the gymming type. Like nature wise, you're not. But because
Yeah.
your health says that you have to do the gymming,
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
somewhere you make it up in your mind that you have to do
Yes.
gymming, walking, workout, and
Yes.
diet.
Yes.
But as you said that in the middle you get the thing, अरे अभी result नहीं आ रहा है. And
Yes.
how to give love when you're not very happy, you are just
Yes.
doing it for the cause of doing because your doctor has told you, your
Yes.
people have told you, if you don't do, your sugar will go up. If you,
Yes. Yes.
fear
Yes.
डालकर
Yes.
हम लोग को बोला है कि
Yes.
ये
Yes.
करना आपको है.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
how to send love? Love is only when you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not my enjoyment. It's not
Yes.
my even the same thing with business. कि अगर कोई बोलता है कि आप business करो या
Uh-huh.
आप कर रहे हो, you are doing it because you have to uh, money, take care of your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are times when you are doing it for the sake of it. As you said, you have to go back and ask, why did I start? I
Yeah.
started because I needed it. I needed money to do. And in the beginning, 1 year, it went off very well. So it gave me a boost also. कि चलो और इसमें रुपया डालो and करो. And suddenly in the halfway through, things start going backwards.
Yes.
How can you ask that question? Because जब आप start करे हो and you put the
Yes.
money, it goes up. And suddenly, due to any problem, outside problem or whatever, and the business doesn't do well.
Yes.
So how
Yeah.
can you
So
love?
yeah. So that's
This is
very
what I
good.
want to ask you.
Yeah. Is this a question, and you want to say?
I beg your pardon?
Is it a question that you are asking, or is it a statement that you're giving?
No, I am asking you a question.
Okay.
How
Great.
to give love? You since
Great.
you're very
Lovely.
particular that you give that love
Very
to
good.
the
Very
work.
good.
Ah,
So let me try and answer it in short while, because it's a long thing to talk about. But I'm going to try and answer in this very short in a short way. Now, when we say why, we don't go to the deeper aspects of why. We only go to that extent that yes, it gives me money. When I do business, it can give me money. It can take care of my family. That's it.
ah,
But my suggestion is go more deeper. Okay, why? More why? More why? When you say the deeper purpose of your doing business is not about earning money, it is the deeper purpose of your business is about adding value to your
ah,
prospective customers, which
ah,
eventually will give the cash flow. Now, when you ask the deeper purpose of why, then you go and when suddenly you get into the transactional mode, then you go back to your why, and then the deeper purpose is opened up, and then you say, okay, maybe I'm not adding more value to my business, maybe I'm not adding more value to my customers. That is why my customers are leaving me consistently, and that is why I'm not able to generate more cash flows. Then you say, okay, fine. Let me add more. Let me see what is the market condition. Let me see how can I add more value to the customers now. Now they can also see what is my value proposition of business. What is so special about my business which can add more cash flows to my business. So actually, when you say love, adding love to the business, you are actually uncovering the deeper secrets of why. Now coming back to the health part, you say that I am going to the gym or going to the workout only because for the fear that my sugar doesn't go up. तो
yeah,
fear की वजह से भी आप fear की वजह से you basically doing exercise, but that is again not that great motivating because that creates more stress in our body, and stress hormones gets released, and that's how you cannot become successful. That's why you keep on hitting the gym and you still your sugar levels don't go up or go
ah,
down.
ah,
Now,
ah,
when you add more love to it, why you want to so you want to remain fit. You want to remain fit, you want to remain healthy, you want to remain joyful. When you are joyful, you are impacting the world in a better way. That is the reason you want to do the exercise. Now, when you that deeper purpose is being answered, then automatically that all the diseases in body go away. Because disease is what? This is. Any disease
ah,
is this is because there is
yeah,
not ease in the body. More at the beginning, it looks very difficult.
ah, ah, ah,
Now,
ah.
let me give you one more perspective, ma'am. Your food is your medicine. I don't know whether how much you have been told like that. आप क्या खाते हो वो आपकी medication है. And when you are stressed up, you start eating a different thing. You think कि बाहर से कुछ आएगा तो मुझे ठीक होएगा. Diet also plays a big role in your well-being.
Correct, correct.
But
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the same time, we haven't even asked and uncovered that question. Why am I having that diet? Is it to live life, or is it to just enjoy my taste buds? So a lot of things. Why brings a lot of clarity to what you're doing and why you're doing and what exactly
correct.
is doing. And that brings love to the whole game. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
I hope I make
Thank
some
you.
sense to you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much for asking this question. I mean, I'm so glad to see you after a long time, Ruchira. I hope you're doing well and keeping well. And
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing, doing well. Just that
great.
in the morning, there's many things, times, things crop up. I'm not able to give time for this. But
Great.
sometimes, good topics come up, so I force myself to sit down and
Lovely.
listen to all of you.
Lovely. Great.
So
Anybody
that's
else any questions? Anybody have to give any feedback or any sharing before we end this conversation, before we end this topic? Anybody have to say something? Anybody would like to share something on the chat box? Can share something on the chat box. And if there is nobody going to share, I mean, we're going to end this conversation. If anybody has to say something, just unmute yourself and share something.
So I
Kailash,
just want
Samina,
to,
Neelamji, anybody would like to share?
yeah, Vinay, I was just sharing like it was a wonderful session, like, and many two important areas that you have already covered, the business part and the health part, because every time we have to go for the exercise, the why often why is limited to that particular time or issue. So what I'm getting is you have to link, dig deeper and align why for all areas of your life. So that
Definitely.
is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. Great. And yeah, so that's what I really want to invite everyone to consider. Adding love and acknowledging the fear, and see how when you add love to the situations and circumstances and your areas, how the fear will go automatically. With this note, I really want to end this, and thank you so much for being with me in this morning at Consciously Positive. And thank you, Consciously Positive, for giving